Mamdani, who is against the police, he has no basis whatsoever to arrest the Prime Minister of Israel. This is just theater. They're all theater. He's a performance. He's an actor. Smile for the camera.
That's former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo joining a chorus of critics railing against Mayor Zoran Mamdani. He threatened to arrest Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu when he visits the United Nations General Assembly in September. I think other people would have a word about that, like actual dictators coming here and we don't arrest them because it's at the UN. Netanyahu's office offered this back. Mr. Mamdani should focus on fixing the damage his policies have caused New York! Exclamation point from me. Danny Danon, Israeli ambassador to the UN, said, instead of focusing on his responsibilities as mayor and confronting the rising wave of anti-Semitism in his city, he has chosen to incite hostility. And former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, this is pure political theater. CB Cotton reporting. CB.
Hey, Harris. So, yes, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is pushing back against New York City's Democratic Socialist Mayor Zoran Mamdani, who called Netanyahu a war criminal. But in a lengthy social media post, Netanyahu defended his leadership and Israel's actions and said Mamdani needs to focus on running New York City. The public sparring comes after Mamdani's interview with the New York Times, where he said the city is exploring whether it can arrest Netanyahu if the Israeli leader visits this fall for the United Nations General Assembly. Last year on the campaign trail, Mamdani first vowed to pursue Netanyahu's arrest. And when speaking to the Times, Mamdani cited a 2024 International Criminal Court warrant issued for Netanyahu over alleged war crimes in Gaza, allegations that Israel has denied.
What you will find is that is an opinion that is held by many purely because of what his actions have wrought over these last many years. Whatever the law allows me to do in New York City, that's what we will do, but we won't be writing our own laws to that end.
Legal experts tell Fox diplomatic immunity typically applies to sitting heads of government during United Nations visits, and that Mamdani has no authority to arrest Netanyahu for several other reasons.
He has no authority to direct anyone to execute a warrant issued by the International Criminal Court. The United States does not recognize the jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court.
We have reached out to the mayor's office about Mamdani's comments on Netanyahu, but haven't heard back. In about an hour, Mamdani is expected to hold a news conference with small business leaders. Harris will be monitoring to see whether he also addresses this fallout. Back to you.
All right, CB, thank you very much. Ben Domenech, Fox News contributor, is with me now. First of all, just your comments about what he's saying, Mamdani, right now.
Well, I think that Zoran Mamdani has promised so many things to so many people, particularly in this young coalition that maybe wasn't politically active before, maybe doesn't know the different laws involved. And in this case, he's lying, but he's adopting the George Costanza approach of saying it's not a lie if you believe it. And I think he's trying to manifest this as best as he possibly can. The truth is he has no justification. He has no right to do this. But because he teed it up to all of his leftist supporters as something that he could do that would please, you know, this TikTok generation of people who have bought into his ridiculous radical ideas, that's something that he needs to keep pretending is going to happen.
So when does everybody wake up? Because we have now north of 12 encampments of homelessness. And when you come off the West Side Highway, for people who don't live here, that's kind of usually the first place you hit when you're coming from Jersey, right? So you're coming across the bridge, maybe you hit it on a lower end in a different way coming through lower Manhattan. But that's, and it runs right along the river. Along there are several streets now, and it's across from the Intrepid. It's on its way to Times Square. You get what I'm saying here. You can't miss it.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear what he says about that.
Well, Harris, I mean, this has actually been, as you know, my wife was pregnant, then we had our third child 6 months ago, so it's actually been quite a while since I've been to New York. The last time I was in New York, Zoran Mamdani was not the mayor of New York, and the difference between then and now is noticeable, even in that short amount of time. And I think that that just speaks to how badly the policies that he is going to continue to put in place for this city are going to go. He is, and all of this, Harris, as you know, For them, it's a feature. It's not a bug. It's not a problem that they need to address. They want to see a city that has these types of problems and use it as a justification for enhanced government power, for more power for themselves and for their allies and friends. And that's going to be something the city, unfortunately, is going to have to deal with under his tenure.
I wrote that down. For them, the socialists, it's a feature. It's not a bug. Yeah, it's here to stay as long as he's mayor. Well, look, he told us who he was, though.
Yes.
In 2023, then Queens Assemblyman Zoran Mamdani said this about New York police and the Israeli Defense Forces.
We have to make clear that when the boot of the NYPD is on your neck, it's been laced by the IDF.
Look, I think that this is someone who ran, again, on these appeals that were designed for a generation that is unserious about policy, that doesn't have the kind of, we have to understand they're operating, I don't blame them, from decades of a total leftist takeover, a purposeful leftist takeover of education in this country, designed to foment this type of radicalism and to teach people that essentially, you know, true communism has never been tried, true socialism, you know, and you create another generation of would-be young pioneers or something along those lines. It's the type of thing that is now reaping some real horrible ramifications for New York City because of everything that these people having been taught, leading them down this road.
So look, you and I talked off camera, and I said it to the audience going to the commercial. We've had real killers at the UN. Like,
yeah.
we've had some people that will
warlords
raise an entire village, set people on fire. No, I mean, on different continents, and then come here and enjoy the immunity and the protection.
Of course.
That likely they could only get at a United Nations based in New York City inside of America.
Yeah, but this is the way that Mamdani's approaching things. And so whenever it comes to those ramifications that are negative for the city that you're talking about and that middle-class people, small business people are experiencing under his rule,
right,
he can point to these other things in order to distract. And that's what this is. It's a distraction. It's designed to feed social media and not actually deal with any of the very real problems that New York City faces.
All right, last really quick one for you. What does it take for Democrats to turn this around?
You know, I think that unfortunately for them, it's too late. You know, we heard this story in the past week about Hakeem Jeffries approaching Bernie Sanders, asking him not to play a role in the primaries in the New York elections, and Sanders blew him off. And the reason he blew him off is because he knows he is closer to the base, the activist base of the Democratic Party than Hakeem Jeffries ever will be or ever could be. And that's a real problem for them and a problem for the country.
Ben, great to see you. God bless you and your gorgeous wife and 3 children.
Always great to see you, Harris.
Thank you. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.